Well, hi everybody. I forgot to make an intro for this video. And it's basically, I'm calling them my crazy hand towels. It's just my use in trying to use up material that I don't know what else to use it for. So I hope you enjoy watching me make them. And if you have any questions about how they're made, please just put it down below in the comment section. Everybody take care. This is 3/4 of a yard. So by the time I take in the hem allowance, it's going to be just right. So this is my hand towel that I like. My dish towel. The size that I like. I don't like the smaller ones. So I will show you how I cut them up. So I took the cloth and I just cut it in 3 sporadic sizes. So now I'll use these sizes and cut the other 2 pieces. So now all 3 of the pieces have been cut into the same strips. So it's actually, these are 6 dish rags because this is doubled. So now you just mismatch every one of them. So let's see. So we've pretty much mixed and matched, but these 2 look real identical.
The rest.
But I needed a 4th one. But I mean, this is like the thicker one, thinner, thicker one, skinnier one, thicker one. So I mean, they all are different sized. Kai helped me.
I guess this is the thicker one.
Yeah.
Oh, thinner and thicker? That's
yeah.
Okay.
So there they are, 6. And I think what, you know, this is really cool is for using leftover material. Well, we're going on. So I need to cut some strips to ruffle. And I was going to use this, but I don't think it works at all with the pattern. So I've had this eyelet, this white eyelet. So this is how long I was using them. And I think even though it's absent eyelet on the end, I will be sewing that into the seam allowance. So let's see how close we are. It is the perfect length. So I will continue. See, that's why I wanted to use these, is I have about 5 or 6 of these all ready to go. So I will just save them and use them on another one. So let me get cutting away, because I need 6 of them. And down here, it's weird. This was given to me, so I don't know why it has an absence of eyelets. So I'll start at the other end. So let me get cutting. So what would you, I don't know how long that is. If I get a chance, I'll measure it. I hope you can hear me over the furnace. So I have 6 strips, and I will, you know, this isn't really a sewing lesson, so if you need to know, I'm going to sew on the biggest stitch I have, straight stitch, and then I will iron them, hem them, and I hem them by just, you know, ironing them over like this, and then ironing them over again using pins, and then I'll run a straight stitch. Then on this part, I will run the biggest straight stitch I have and gather them. So here are 6 ruffles, 6 pieces of material ready to ruffle. I will hem them first. I put a few pins, since there's 6 of them, just to hold them in. So I will hem them, all of them, and then I'll put the sewing machine on the widest stitch I have to ruffle them. I'll set and ruffle them all, and then I can just assemble the dish towels. First thing on the new tripod. So this is basically the dish towel I made. They look really nice when you hang them on the stove. Ta-da! So let's put one together. Hopefully I can find the footage of Kai and I making one. Now you notice that there's a little edge there of the material, but it will be folded into the final seam. So what I did is I just simply put my widest stitch, and I just do it by hand. I mean, if you have a ruffle stitch foot, go for it. I think I might even own one. So I just, you know, hand ruffled it. So here's what it looks like. What I do is you put right sides together. So you see there's this side and with the hem. So kind of take your ruffle, just kind of scoot the ruffle around so it's even. Like it seems to me it's ruffled a lot more there. So I just kind of play with it. Get it like pretty much the way I want it. Which is just scooting the ruffle around. Trying to make it even. So I get it to an end. And I normally pin it down. And it's going to stick out a little, and that's good. You want that, because you want to be able to sew it in really well. So then I just start pinning. So I have now pinned, because the camera went off. I sewed the ruffle on, so I am pinning this one to this one and just getting it all done. So that it will end up looking like this. So I pinned, the ruffle has been attached. I pinned this. You just missed it because the camera went off. Probably changed the battery. We'll check that. So I'm going to go sew this again. The seam allowance is just strictly running the right side of my sewing machine foot on the edge. So I have sewed each layer, each thing twice. Here's how you can see it. See how there's two. I've just sewed them. I'm not real good at zigzagging. It didn't come out well, so I think it's a matter of playing with the zigzag stitch and getting it wider or smaller or whatever. The standard ones weren't working for me. But if you can zigzag, I highly recommend that you sew them together and then above your seam put a zigzag. I have washed them and they don't seem to fray that much, so I'm real happy with that. So step 2, we need to cut off the extra material here on both of them, straighten it out, which we will get to next. This is as close as I could get the tripod. I ordered 2 tripods, one big one, one little one. I have a use for a big one, but I didn't really want to use it on this, but c'est la vie. So I'm basically cutting just really close to the edge of the seam, which I doubt that you could see because it's white on white. Just, you know, getting it as close as I can without getting too ridiculous, and you do not want to cut into. So I have my iron on 4.5, which is 6 is the hottest. So I kind of just go through and iron it. Just a quick iron. Take off threads. I'm like real meticulous about ironing everything. And then this way I kind of iron the ruffle down a little just to get it to lay. And it's hot. So now I just start anywhere. Hold on. And I turn it. I don't think it's quite a 1/2 inch. And I use a very hot iron. Then I pull the ruffle in a little. And I pin it. That's the ruffle. And I just keep ironing. Now I'm going to miter the corners, as I call it. See, I'm making little triangles. And this will determine the next seam allowance. So I put them together, get them close to where I want them, or where I think they're good enough. I iron it. Oh, it's hot. Watch your fingers. Then I put a little pin. So I'll just keep going. So that's it. It's done. I cut off all threads. I actually have little teeny scissors to do this, but we're just doing it because I'd like to put this up. So I'm very meticulous about seams. So I iron in all my seams. Just kind of look at it. If this was a present, I would probably go back over, catch all the edges again, you know, the threads, line it up, and then I'd probably just put a crease in it. Make sure the ruffle looks nice. And I would line this up and put a crease. So that's it. I think ironing time, I mean not ironing time, but sewing time was, because I cut out all that I was going to make at once. So I think ironing time, sewing time is about a half an hour. So here's the two of them. Again, I'm making them, I'm calling them crazy dish towels. I have that material here, but that material here. This is the one that's been washed and it still looks really nice. If you have any of your gathering line, just take your seam ripper and rip it out. And so that's it. That's my crazy dish towels. That's it on the hand towels. I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, for me, this I think has been, I have one more to sew. But I think it's a great exercise in at least this batch. Because I tried to pick materials that I maybe wouldn't like, that definitely don't go together. So I'm going to continue making them. I have one more to make for this batch, and then I'm going to, I went through all of my materials. And the one thing that they seem to have, because I got a lot of it from Anita, is they have little flowers in common, but the colors don't even go together. So that should be interesting. So I'm going to just keep sewing, and this is going to be one of my main presents for next year, for Christmas. I'm enjoying the sewing. It's been colder, it's cold here. But, so, thanks for watching. Everybody